So believe it or not, Jorge Mendes is ruining yet another football club. Let me explain why. When it became apparent that Nottingham Forest were looking for a new head coach to replace Steve Cooper, Oliver Glasner was amongst the leading candidates to make it clear that he was keen on the job. This was a man that had guided Wolfsburg and Frankfurt to the Champions League, while winning the Europa League with the latter. The style of football he has his sides playing is a sight to behold, and they're exactly the type of progressive tactics being adopted by the very best teams up and down the country. With this in mind, it seemed like a no-brainer that he take the hot seat at the City Ground, until Jorge Mendes emerged from the shadows. As I'm sure you're all aware by now, Mendes is one of the most high-profile agents in the game, and unfortunately, he's got his fingers in plenty of pies. He used this very influence to ensure that his client Nuno Espirito Santo was the one Marinakis would go with. This isn't the first time Forest have had a Mendes client in the dugout either. Sabri Lamucci was another appointment that was made courtesy of Mendes, although many felt that relationship between agent and owner had come to a halt upon promotion to the Premier League. As it turns out, it's very much the opposite. Aside from arranging the deal for Nuno, Mendes made certain Carlos Carvajal, another one of his clients, got the Olympiacos job. Hell, even Pedro Alves, who's Olympiacos' new sporting director, has strong ties with Mendes. In return for these favors, Mendes helped Marinakis add Portuguese side Rio Ave to his growing portfolio. Reading between the lines, not only is the relationship between Mendes and Marinakis stronger than ever, but they're essentially business partners at this stage. Forest supporters can only sit and hope that Mendes' meddling behind the scenes doesn't end in tears like last time. An influx of overseas players were brought through the door, namely Joao Carvalho, who at the time was a club record signing at 13 million quid, Gil Diaz, Diogo Goncalves, Rafa Mir, and Leo Bonazzini. All of these lads flopped to varying degrees, and as per one club official, Mendes had, quote-unquote, taken the piss out of Forest. It's not all bad, however. Last summer, Mendes proposed the transfer of Gonçalo Ramos, who had scored a World Cup hat-trick for Portugal just months before, to Forest. That fell through because Ramos decided to remain at Benfica, and he's now gone on to sign for PSG in a £70 million move. It goes without saying that all of this stinks, but I'm afraid dodgy dealings and cronyism aren't just part and parcel of football, but society in general. Marinakis is acutely aware of the fact that he needs to be associated with the puppet masters who more or less run the sport. The Greek business magnate was also in bed with Raiola, not literally fellas, that's not an image any of us want to be conjuring up on Christmas, as showcased by the signing of Brazilian centre-half Rodrigo Eli. To put it bluntly, this lad was worse than dog shit, but Forest signed him on a free transfer just to keep Raiola in their good books. Eli ended up not playing a single minute before it was mutually agreed his contract would be terminated just 4 months in. Raiola has since passed away, so won't be able to aid Forest in their quest to become an established top-half club, but this kind of thing will only continue with other agents of his ilk. Obviously, Mendes is responsible for taking Wolves from the Championship to Europe, and it's not beyond the realms of possibility this happens at Forest too once he makes his A-list clients available to them. But in my eyes, you're making a deal with the devil. It's even one Sir Alex came to regret. Mendes helped bring a teenage Cristiano Ronaldo to Old Trafford, and the Scotsman reciprocated by signing Bebe a few years later, who at the time was homeless and playing 7th Division football. He turned out to be one of the worst players to ever put on a United shirt, and was quietly shown the door shortly after his arrival, only this time as a millionaire. Do let me know your own take on all of this down below, and I sincerely hope you're all enjoying the festive season. Take care and I'll catch you in the next one, folks. Peace.